Okay, so we've been chatting for a little bit before actually hitting the record button, mainly because this is something that's very new for me. I know that I've chatted with Tim, our friend Tim, several times on video, and this is, I think, part of the growing process of this channel in attempting to reach out to individuals who might happen to be invested in Stronghold Digital Mining. And so what we agreed upon was that I'd ask my new friend here, want to say hello real quick?
Hello.
Okay, so what we decided was that we'd kind of have 5 questions that I'd ask, and then she'd be welcome to ask me one or all of the same questions. And at least that way, I think it puts her a bit more at ease. I think it creates a more compact, cohesive, coherent, video. And you were not very keen on appearing on camera, and I respect that. So we'll have some video footage of Panther Creek playing. So that's what you're watching on the screen right now as you listen to this. So what part of Pennsylvania are you from?
I am from the Northeast PA area and Eastern PA area, and I have lived in this area for most of my life.
How did you first hear about Stronghold Digital Mining?
I was actually looking up information on YouTube about Bitcoin mining and ended up stumbling onto one of your videos.
Now, before we hit the record button, you did share that with me, and I was somewhat incredulous at first, and I kind of thought you might just be pulling my leg or trying to be flattering, but it evidently seems to be true. You quite literally stumbled upon one of the videos, and you, as they would say, went down the rabbit hole to discover more about Stronghold Digital Mining. Very cool. Now, what ultimately persuaded you to become an investor in the company?
Well, it was an obvious choice when I realized just how brilliant their business model is. I mean, they are mining Bitcoin, which takes a lot of electricity to do, but they're also a power plant so they can generate that electricity. Oh, but if grid prices are low, then they could just buy electricity from the grid. I mean, it's just a really genius setup that they have. I mean, this is a win-win situation, and then they're using waste coal to power their plants. They're cleaning up the earth while they're doing this. This is a win-win-win situation, and it's pretty darn brilliant.
Now, the fourth question is, do you ever worry about the stock price being as low as it is?
Well, I think there is a little bit of worry about that. There's a little bit of frustration about that. I mean, sure, it was a little bit encouraging when we watched it go up a little bit, but it has just kind of stayed level. Watching it stay level has been pretty frustrating. But at the same time, that should be really encouraging to anyone thinking about buying because the price is so low right now. This is the time to buy.
So that kind of leads into the fifth question that I was going to ask, which is, what would you say to someone who's basically on the fence or somewhat uncertain as to whether or not they should potentially invest in Stronghold Digital Mining? Now, bearing in mind that, again, I'm not a licensed investment advisor. To the best of my understanding, you're not a licensed investment advisor. So it's not so much about giving investment advice, but rather, what might you share with somebody who is already entertaining that thought in their mind?
That's right. This is not investment advice. But I mean, it really just does seem like this company is just deeply undervalued. I mean, it doesn't make sense for the stock price to be so low when their business model is as brilliant as it is.
Now, you mentioned that you have watched a number of my videos, and I do wish in some ways we had a camera here right now because, it's not like you're reading from a teleprompter or you're reading from some cue card. But I think to anyone else who has watched a lot of my videos, you're definitely tapping into a lot of the same basic things that I've shared, right? Regarding, hey, if grid prices are super low like they are right now, great. We could just buy the power from the grid, use that electricity to mine Bitcoin. If grid prices were to shoot up, awesome. We can just use our power plants to generate electricity, right? Sell that power into the grid. We win that way. There's a lot of ways for us to win. Do you think that my videos have been somewhat educational insofar as giving you a better sense of not just like what Stronghold Digital Mining is all about, but perhaps even a little bit as to what the whole deal with Bitcoin is? Because I know you said that you originally started searching for information on Bitcoin and stumbled into one of my videos. What's just off the top of your head, would you overall say my videos have been helpful in just giving you a better lay of the land?
I would say that your videos have been very helpful and educational in taking the information and breaking it down into very small and easy to understand bits of information.
Okay, cool. Would you be open to potentially joining a meetup group if we were to, if I get Tim together, maybe there's a couple other people that might be geographically, maybe we could all either meet up virtually, and do a live broadcast maybe when, Q4 2022 results are released. We might do a listening party. Is that something you're open to?
A virtual meet sounds really interesting.
Okay.
I definitely think that it's going to help if we can get more of us together online talking about this, for sure.
Very cool. Okay, in the interest of time, do you want to ask me one or all of the questions that I just asked you?
Yeah. Now, do you ever worry about the stock price being low?
I mean, I don't know that I worry about the stock price being so low. I think the things I do worry about are, hey, what if there's a significant malfunction at one of the power plants? What if there is a significant breakdown of some kind at one of the data centers, that house the Bitcoin mining machines? I am worried sometimes about, can people on our team become so dispirited by the tremendous challenges that we're facing that they might, some people might lose heart and say, hey, I'm going to pursue other opportunities, which I get that. Time, there is an opportunity cost, right, to sort of being involved in any business when that business, the environment in which that business is operating, maybe isn't that good at the moment, or certainly not as great as it could be. And so, those are the things I tend to worry about most. I mean, whenever I see there's sort of like an 8K that comes out, I think I'm always quick to want to check, okay, did something slip through my radar insofar as there being some issue with a power plant or a data center or, things that are more materially connected to operations. That's what tends to worry me. The stock price being as low as it is, it doesn't per se worry me, but it does annoy me. I mean, it's like one of those things where you say, hey, come on. As I've said many times, I respect that this is where the market is choosing the prices at. I just don't agree with the valuation at all. You're so far, how would you say, you've held the stock now for a couple months, I think you mentioned before we hit the record button. So at this point, you've seen some of the ups and downs, basically, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So do you feel comfortable holding on for a bit yet to see what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, thank you. I know this is both a bit unorthodox and a bit awkward perhaps because, again, I'm not aware of any other channel that is actively seeking out people who are invested in a company to chat with them about, well, what's a little bit of your backstory as to how you ended up being an investor in the company. So I know I think you're a really good sport for doing this. So thank you so much. Is this a good format for us to follow, do you think? Asking these types of questions
I think it's good as an option.
Mm-hmm.
So like if other investors are more comfortable in front of the camera, then they could have that option. But I think this is a good option for them to pick from.
Okay. So one option is like with me and Tim in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. Maybe another option is if someone's particularly local, to say, hey, we can kind of record a conversation like we're doing now. And then maybe a third option is, hey, just phone in and we kind of like tap you into the microphone somehow, and we can kind of do it remotely that way.
Yeah, and definitely sounds like remote options might be more accessible to more people.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very well. Hey, thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Okay,